In this video, I'm going to talk about the folders and the structure of the folders within the IMI Organizer Folders. And I'm starting on the desktop, and I'm going to double click on the shortcuts to the folders, which opens up Windows Explorer showing the folders themselves. There's one difference between what you see here and what you saw after I'd installed the folders before, and that is I've also now added the expert guides to organizing, which if you don't already own that document, you can download it from the members area. You can read that if you want to get a better understanding of the basic ideas behind the organizer. But if you don't want to read the whole thing, then one section I do recommend reading is section 3.1, which is what you can see here. The big two categories, reference content and operational content. Very, very briefly, reference content is mostly things that you've downloaded, and operational content is mostly things that you create that would be part of a project, your own websites, your own records about what you're doing and so on. The IMI folders that you've downloaded only deals with the reference content. The operational content is not dealt with by that folder structure. That is a little more complex, and you need different folder structures for different projects, and all that is handled by the Pro edition. So the free edition, the IMI Folders edition, and the IMI Maps edition don't deal with operational content. For that you need the Pro edition. So other than that, now I'm going to just work my way through the folders and just say a little bit about each of them. The first is really just a link to another service that I provide, which is Internet Professionals. If you're interested in, I recommend taking a look at that, see if you're interested in learning a little bit more about that particular service. Other than that, let's go through the content management folders. You don't store stuff under there. That is really for managing the records related to DAO installers and the automated content management for the Pro edition. For that, the only relevant part of the content management folders is the download records subfolder and download reports and supplier index. I'm not going to discuss those now because I talk about those in the video about working with content organized by DAO installers. So when you're managing your own content, you can ignore content management. The in folder is, well, there's nothing in these folders, of course. The in folder is there purely as a convenient place for you to download content into before you organize it. If it's not being automatically organized by DAO installers, that's just a useful folder that you can download your content into so that it is all within the main home folder of IMIndex. If you're downloading DAO installers, you could, if you wanted to, download them into the in folder. It doesn't really matter where you download them to, but if you just wanted to be consistent, you could arrange for them to be downloaded into the in folder so that you can easily find where they are. Of course, after you've used them, you can delete them if you want, but temporarily that's quite a good place to put them. My IMInfo is probably it is the largest and probably the most important folder within here. This is effectively the A to Z of internet marketing. So there are a whole collection of internet marketing topics here. And the fact that there are a lot of them is good and bad. It's good in that you can be very precise about where you file your content so that no one folder becomes too large. The downside of that, of course, is that you need to find exactly the right location to store any particular item of content. The mind map that comes with the map edition gives quite a lot of help in doing that. But even without that, once you get used to how these topics are structured, you should be able to use this without too much trouble. Let's look inside one of these. It doesn't really matter which. Let's look in email management, say. Each folder has the same structure underneath. There's a subfolder called resale products, and there's these two documents. The resale products subfolder is where you would store anything for which you have giveaway or resale rights or PLR rights. And anything which is for personal use only, you would store in this higher level. So there's nothing by default underneath the resale products subfolders. And the two documents are for you to store information that you create relating to that topic. So say you found something interesting about email management somewhere, maybe a forum post that you found particularly useful, or some notes that you took down during a conference, anything really related to email management. That's just a handy document within that folder already created for you, where you can write your own notes about that particular topic. So again, there's nothing in there, just a default piece of text. In the mind map version, there is a direct topic linking to both of these documents. The URLs document has got a little table in it. So if you wanted to store links that relate to that particular topic, this topic being email management, obviously you can just put them in your shortcuts of your browser, but if you wanted a more comprehensive or more detailed record of URLs that you've found, you can store them in this table. There's a date, the title, the URL, and your own notes about it. So that's just a convenient way of storing information that you create about each of the topics. So each of these subfolders has has the resale product subfolder and the two documents within it. So that's the My IM info, and that is really all the subjects related to internet marketing, as opposed to any other niche. The next folder is My Shortcuts. This is a convenient folder for storing shortcuts to either folders or files within the IM index folder structure. Well, actually anywhere you want, but they can be shortcuts to anywhere, but the idea was to have shortcuts to locations within the IM index folder structure which you access on a regular basis, and to save you navigating maybe through many levels of folders to find the folder or document that you want, you could create a shortcut to it and put it at this top level. So for example, let's say I've doing work on article marketing, and I've downloaded some system, some ebook or some videos or whatever they happen to be, and I created a subfolder there and a subfolder of that, and within there I've got various videos or ebooks or things that I'm using on a regular basis at the moment. So I want to be able to get into this subfolder very quickly each day, just to access my documents fast. And instead of having to navigate through this folder structure each time, I will go to one level up and create a shortcut to this subfolder. And you can't see that, so let me just move up a little bit. So I would right click, select create shortcut, and it actually creates the shortcut, adds it to that folder. And then all I need to do is drag and drop that into the My Shortcuts folder over here. So left click, drag, and drop it into My Shortcuts. So now in future, when I want to access that folder or the contents within that folder, I could just open up my IM index folder, go to My Shortcuts, double click on that, and I'm there. If you look at the top here, I'm now in My IM info, article marketing, My folder, a subfolder, and there would be the documents that I'm working on right now. So that's the idea of the My Shortcuts folder. The My Ext folder stands for My Extensions, and there's two reasons why you might use that. One is if when you're downloading your content and you're organizing it yourself, you find that you want to put some content somewhere and there is just no sensible place within the IMIndex folder structure to put it, then create a subfolder under MyExt and add it to there. Now, if you find you're doing that a lot, or even a little bit actually, it probably means you're not using the folder structure properly, or you haven't understood the IMIndex folder structure properly, and you might want to go and have a look at the Expert Guide to Organizing to understand it better. Because pretty much anything you have, anything you download relating to internet marketing, there should be a location for it in one of these folders: My IMInfo, Niches, or Repositories. But if you do find that there is something that you want to store which just doesn't fit anywhere else, store it under My Extensions. The other reason you might want to put something under there is for your own projects that you create. Remember, I referred earlier to operations content and reference content. With the Pro edition of the IMI Organizer, you've got a place for putting your operations content, your information about your own projects. In here you don't, so you might want to put it under the MyExt folder. If you look in there, you see, for example, I've just created a subfolder there called Project 1, and I might want to put all my content related to that particular project in there. There's also a subfolder there called Supplier Extensions, which comes automatically, and that is there for people creating DAO installers. Particular suppliers can create extensions which they can add to there. No one uses that at the moment, and probably no one would need to, but just in case, I've got that created there. Next we come to the niches topic, folder I should say, and the niches folders are for storing content related to specific niches other than internet marketing. Now here we have 21 folders. The choice here was between having several thousand different potential niches where you went down to a very fine level of granularity, or something at about 20 topics at a much higher level. And my judgment was that it is much better to have 20 high-level topics, because if you go down to too low a level of detail, then there's just so many different places a particular piece of content could go. You could categorize it in many different ways. Even with 21 topics, there's a number of different choices that you will have where you put any particular content. So, for example, take televisions. Some content about television, articles about television, say. That could go under home and garden. It could come under recreation and sport, or it could come under technology and consumer electronics. Now, on balance, I would say it comes under technology and consumer electronics. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter where you put it, as long as you're consistent. If you put it under technology and consumer under electronics, hopefully you will go through the same mental processes when you come to look for that content in the future. So I've compromised, and I think I got it about right with 21 different categories, which I took from looking at article marketing categorizations in article directories. So there's your choices, and any content that you have goes in one of those folders. In the map edition, there is some guidance about different topics that could be ambiguous. But in the folders on their own, you just have to make your own judgment as to where to store something. If we look inside any of these, there is a subfolder called sub-niches. Now my recommendation would be that you generally store everything at the top level, but if you find that a particular folder, say health and fitness, is getting very full, and there's a lot of content in there that you're finding it hard to navigate through, and you can see that you have quite a lot of content for a particular sub-niche of health and fitness, then I would create a folder under sub-niches for that sub-niche and put the content under there. But start off by putting everything, by not using the sub-niches, subfolders, so that you can see at a glance everything you've got under a particular niche. That will help you see any patterns and any collections of content that relate to a particular niche. And finally, so what have we had so far? We've got IMI folders, which give a breakdown of content that relates to the internet marketing niche itself, or the subtopics of internet marketing. For other niches outside internet marketing, we've got the niches folders. But there's a lot of content which is not related to any specific niche, like graphics, for example, or for certain scripts, or there is content that relates to multiple niches. And that type of content wouldn't fit under my IMI and wouldn't fit under niches. So under those circumstances, we store it not by subject but by type. So we have articles and newsletters, audios, desktop tools, ebooks, graphics. So let's make this clear. You don't put all your ebooks under ebooks. If an ebook is about a specific niche, it goes in the relevant niches. Close down some of these. It goes in the relevant niches subfolder. If it's about a specific internet marketing topic, it goes in the relevant folder under IMI. But if you've got a collection of ebooks, all zipped up, that you don't want to break out into their individual ones, then you would put that under the ebooks repository. Similarly with keywords, if you have a bunch of keywords relating to, say, ClickBank, you wouldn't put them under the keywords repository, but you put them under ClickBank, so that under ClickBank you have all your content that relates to ClickBank. However, if you've got large collections of keywords that cross multiple niches, then you would put it in the keywords repository. That's my recommendation. Basically, store your content by the subject matter if you can, i.e., is it a particular internet marketing topic or is it a niche? If you can't store it under there, then store it by repository, by the type of the content, is video or keywords or graphics or ebook. That's the principle that you should use. And finally, I've spoken a little bit about the Expert Guide to Organising. There's two more PDFs here. One is the changelog. That just lists all the changes made to the different versions of the different editions. So if you want, you can examine the history of all the changes, and in particular when you load an update, install an update to your version, then you can see exactly what is different from the previous version. And my edition and version is another PDF, and that just tells you exactly what edition you own and what the version is. If you have a mind map, one of the mind map editions, then you can open the mind map and see that information. But for the free edition with just the folders, this PDF will tell you exactly what edition or what version you have. This PDF is updated if you go to another edition or another version, so that will always give you the to tell you exactly what you own. And I think I mentioned before that this gives you a link to the page that we saw previously with the videos and other information to help you use the product to maximum benefit. So that's the end of this video that gives you a run through the folders.